So, it's Lent, and yesterday was Ash Wednesday, and also Omar's 40th birthday. And he cracks me up. You know, he's a low-key dude in most ways. So he worked from home on his birthday. I threw him a party on Sunday. It wasn't a big deal. Just invited over some people whose company I know he enjoys, and his mother, and made him his favorite foods, and got some Legos to put together. Like, it's still not finished, but it's fun, and it's still sitting out there, and he still pokes at it a little bit. It's a pretty extensive, since his birthday was on Ash Wednesday, which is the end of Carnival. I got a Ferris wheel, mechanical Ferris wheel from Lego. So that's what we did. But I went to dance yesterday and did a little dance for him, because he was with me. Whenever he works from home, he goes to dance with me. I mean, he doesn't dance with me, he just sits and uses the Wi-Fi and does his work, whatever. But I putz about in the dance studio and work on things. Work on keeping my body healthy, work on, if I ever get to perform somewhere again. Gotta be in practice, right? That's not, I don't know. Besides, going to the club is so obnoxious these days. I mean, I love the energy of all the people, but it gets murky when people then try to pick you up or think that you're trying to pick them up, and it's like, no, really, it's about the dance. People are funny. People are funny. Dancing, just because you get to move your body with somebody in a way that is not intercourse, right? People get all weird about it. Ooh, you're being sexy, you're being wiggly, and what if somebody gets turned on by that? If you've seen a John Waters film, it doesn't take looking good to turn somebody on all the time, and people have fetishes, I mean, for crying out loud. The bra section in the Sears catalog gets some people off, right? Crying out loud. Whatever. There's a hymn, Lord of the Dance. Danced for the fishermen, for James and John. I am the dance and it still goes on. Dance then, wherever you may be. I am the Lord of the dance, said he. And I'll lead you all wherever you may be. And I'll lead you all in the dance, said he. I thought it'd be fun to curl my hair today. I do it every now and then. It takes a long time. My hair holds curl pretty well because I have some natural wave. The top of my hair is perfectly straight, or some of my hair is perfectly straight, right? But some of it, particularly behind my ears, is quite wavy. Matter of fact, I tell people, I say sometimes, I joke sometimes I got pubes growing behind my ears. And I get some pretty curly ones. And some of them are white, and some of them are black, and some of them are red. And then I put henna on all my hair so it all has a similar tint, but I've got a lot of different colors in my hair. Right here on this side, there's a piece of gold hair that grows, and I got, that song, Coat of Many Colors. I got the hairs of many colors. Oh, Larissa, why don't you let it all just grow in, blah, 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 blah. Because I like my henna hair. Henna puts a nice texture on it. And henna is very conditioning. My hair always feels so nice after I put the henna on. So I do a mixture of henna, coffee, brewed coffee, fresh brewed coffee, and olive oil. And sometimes I'll even do an avocado mask on my hair, rather than throw away a brown avocado that I didn't get to eat fast enough. Sometimes I throw them away. I don't always put them on my hair, but you can do an avocado mask on your hair. And sometimes I do. Maybe that's why my hair's so silky. I don't know, people are funny about things. I don't know. There's all this stuff that Donald Trump is being attributed to Donald Trump, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, Donald Trump's doing all these horrible things. And don't get me wrong, I don't disagree that stuff that's going on in the world right now is pretty scary. I'm just not convinced that it's all just because of Donald Trump. And, I've worked for local government before, and so I know how bureaucracy works. And bureaucracy is very slow moving, and sometimes it's so slowly moving that when the fruition of the process comes about, it seems sudden, right? Because people lose interest if they're not involved directly in the planning and day-to-day yada blada about things. And they lose interest, and so years will pass by, people in the community move out, move in, but same stuff's still going on with the government, right? So after 9/11, Donald Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney made a series of visits to California specifically. You say, oh, why were they coming out here? Well, they were inspecting government-owned property, right? And this government-owned property, some of the government-owned property that they were inspecting are the sites where the Japanese internment camps were here in the United States during World War II. People don't like to talk about this or forget that it happened or all this stuff. But anyway, these camps exist. They're here. Right? So they came out to inspect them, and then contracts were awarded for retrofitting and updating of infrastructure in the camps. And these, I believe, I remember reading that those contracts were awarded to Halliburton, which is Dick Cheney's little minion army, right? Halliburton and Blackwater. So, they've been making sure that those are updated for quite some time. So all of this bullshit that's going on right now is just part of an ongoing plan, right? And all of them are more than happy to have somebody be the face of the nastiness, because the Trump presidency is nothing new in the United States. It's just that now we have transparency, and we've been people in this country have been yammering about wanting transparency, right? Well, you have it now. I'm sorry that the man behind the curtain isn't what you were hoping for. This is not The Wizard of Oz. This is real life. So, I don't know. I kind of feel like the marches and things that people are doing, people are spending their time organizing, these are in my opinion, are a waste of energy, and have been a waste of energy for quite some time. The time to be marching was back when the Bush administration was invading Iraq and Afghanistan, and, that was the last time I marched, right? And everybody's upset about the whole healthcare thing, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm a person who's never really had healthcare to begin with, because that stuff doesn't work for me. None of that stuff works for me, right? That pharmaceuticals and things, I'm all for people being able to choose what their healthcare is. So, if you're going to offer something like that, it really needs to be for everyone. So I was always an advocate for a single payer model, because then it's available to you, but you're not obligated to use it, right? And everybody's paying into it, and then you can choose to do otherwise if you want. And under the model of the Affordable Care Act, you're penalized if you don't pay into the system, right? And so it creates environment for a debtor's prison, specifically because it becomes a poor tax. So let's look at places that don't provide direct health care for their employees, that work with contractors, right? If you're a contractor, then you need to purchase your own plan. Or self-employed people, or people working in that have businesses that are very, very small, like under 5 people. Sole proprietorships and very small LLCs. It's a huge financial burden for a company that small, a startup like that, to provide the service, right? So people are forced to then have to purchase their own. And a lot of these people, will do business as contractors or with contractors, so that they are not obligated to provide insurance, medical care, and insurance. Oh, that turned out pretty well. So, starting, I think, this year? Is it this year or is it next year? Is it 2018? I don't know. I went to a community meeting a couple years back with Assembly member Bob Bonta. It was one of his events, and this was held over in Fruitvale neighborhood. And it was a Q&A. It was held over actually at the Spanish-Speaking Citizens Association. And he was talking about and answering questions about the nuances of the plan. This was just before the website officially went live, and then they were having all those problems with the website, and it was crashing because it didn't have appropriate tech support, and blah 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 blah. So anyway, doesn't cover a whole lot of holistic stuff, which is, my prerogative to want to use, and a lot of other people's as well. And then, if you can't afford it for yourself and your dependents, you're fined, and that fine rolls over every year and becomes larger. So, I believe the initial fine is something like $500 and some. If you can't afford health insurance, right? And that's per person that is considered your dependent. So if you're a single parent, particularly if you're a single mother, given the the pay disparity, that is a real hardship. And what's going to happen when people can't pay and they rack up all this debt of not being able to pay for their insurance? Well, eventually they're going to start rounding them up and putting them in jail, and you're going to find that it will predominantly be single women. Single boys and single women with a single thought in mind, just to make it till the morning, looking for what they can find. Right? So the way that stuff goes, so it's just going to be another way of penalizing women for being women in a system that rewards men for being men. Right? It's all ridiculousness. It is all ridiculousness. Ridiculousness. So you want to know, speaking of ridiculousness, what I'm going to do today? I have one of my sessions at Laser Away, and I'm getting my asshole lasered today, among other things, but I think it's funny to say I'm getting my asshole lasered. I've had some weird skin eruptions and things happen, or changes in my skin since having the laser hair removal, and I don't know if it is because of the laser hair removal or because of some other anomaly or who knows what, right? Who doesn't like to be able to see? So, I don't know. And the other thing that's been, I have very little pit fur left. I just shaved the little bits out. And the hair on my legs is greatly reduced. Greatly. Although not totally. I still got some hairies down there. And my hoo-ha, I get my hoo-ha. I still got a landing strip. But everything else, there's still furs around. I don't know. Thinking you've got a hygienic place to get waxed. Although waxing is still, I don't know. I like not having hairs in those places. I like to be landscaped. This isn't, people get all weird about, oh, don't cut your hair, that's such a misogynistic thing to want to shave, blah, 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 to not have hairy pits, blah, blah. Get over it. You know what's sexist is trying to tell a woman how her body is supposed to look. It's like, this is no, anyway. I don't know. I can't recommend it or not recommend it. I can tell you that it has been removing my hair. Something that I don't really particularly like about the experience is that I've had like 5 different people laser my hoo-ha. I wish, they told me when I first started that they would try to make sure that I had the same technician each time. It's not a sexual thing to go in and have this done, this is like a maintenance kind of thing, but it's my hoo-ha. I don't need a bunch of people looking at my hoo-ha. It makes it a little anxiety causing. It's like, who's gonna be looking at my hoo-ha today? Woo! Very nice to meet you. Laser my asshole now. Silliness. That's what I'm going to go do today. I have that. And I have some shoes that I need resold. I had a whole bunch of shoes resold. And I have a bunch more that I want to get done. Oh, my God. I saw this article last week that they've been detecting radioactive isotopes all over Europe, and they don't know where it's coming from. And it's just like, really, people? You don't know where it's coming from? What a load of shit. It's like, I think maybe it has something to do with Putin's bullshit in Crimea? Maybe? You think? Maybe? Meanwhile, everyone's worried about whatever the hell they're worried about. While everybody is fighting the Dakota Access Pipeline, the DAPL, losing sight of what the other stuff that's crazy. Why do you think Trump is proposing abolishing federal parks? Why do you think? I understand there's burial grounds there and that other people didn't want it through their yard either, but that line needs to go in somewhere, and it's going to create jobs. And the thing that which is something that people need, there is abject poverty all over the place, and so you're going to turn your nose up at what jobs are being offered. Things that people should be arguing about or fighting for: safe working conditions, right? Safe working conditions, because ultimately, safe working conditions that are safe for the human being are ultimately going to be safe for the environment. Right? Or safer. Oh, people have such a small perspective. Fight about the wrong things. I mean, we are not at the point as society or culture where we can just do away with petroleum-based products, right? That's something to work towards. But it's not going to happen just because you don't, just because you stop or try or fight the companies, right? The real frontier, the real place of innovation or battle, so to speak, is in the realm of technologies, clean technologies, new technologies, better technologies, safer technologies. And I haven't heard anybody talking about that. So I don't want to hear about how how communities are so poor and how we can't compete in trade or blah, 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 whatever, as long as nobody wants to talk about the real way to get around these things, which is cleaner, better technology. Science, people. Science. Can't talk about it out of both sides of your mouth. Anyway. I suppose that's kind of cute, right?